Hey, welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew,
And I'm Vinny.
and on this episode, we are taking a look at the brand new AEW Authentic Scale Ring. This is big, Vinny. This is big.
Yeah, and we have built prior rings for the WWE, so let's see how it scales up.
Yeah, in fact, I think one of your first videos with me, it might have been the first you did, was, in fact, Wicked Cool Toys' Authentic Scale Ring.
Yeah.
And then we did the cage for it
We
as
did
well.
the cage with the old school blue steel.
And this is actually the second ring that, by the way, AEW has made so far. This is the first one with, which is really cool here, the first time ever version of Aubrey Edwards in figure form.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Come with the referee.
Exactly. Really nice referee, which is pretty cool here to have. So, yeah, as we mentioned, we did look at previous rings before. So we're going to try a few things out. We're going to do a side-by-side comparison with that very first Wicked Cool Toys ring that we have.
And we actually do have the blue cage on hand, so we could even see if that fits.
Yeah, so we're going to try out the blue cage. And not only that, I have the AEW Accessory pack, which has the barbed wire. And I want to see how that barbed wire is going to look on this AEW ring. And, of course, we're going to have lots of figures to throw in there, too. I guess we're going to have a little Royal Rumble to test it out.
Maybe a deathmatch Royal Rumble?
Obviously.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so first things first, we got to put this thing together. So we're going to go ahead, switch cameras, and take a look at how this thing gets built.
Let's get going.
All right, and we're going to go ahead and get started here. So this is the AEW box, by the way, which we don't really spend a ton of time talking about, but it's just a box. You guys can basically see what it looks like. It's got a nice picture there.
I like how they have Aubrey nice and displayed.
Yeah, Aubrey Edwards, you get to see her here. So this is a Ringside Collectibles exclusive, by the way. You're not going to find this in stores, but to be fair, I also don't think you were going to find the other version in stores, because this is basically a $100 item here. And yeah, you guys can see here, over 35 pieces, going to have rubber turnbuckles, allegedly easy to assemble.
Let's find out.
Yeah, Vinny, we've done this before.
Yep.
So let's see.
Oh, am I going to hate the turnbuckles?
Yes, turnbuckles, your favorite.
Yeah, that's why if I'm going to talk something different now, I am so happy with the Mattel Creations. At least that's a cloth turnbuckle. It should be easy to put in. But we're going to have to wait a year to find out that one. So
It's going to be a long time for that. So
yep.
let's go ahead and cut this box. And Vinny's decided he wants to time himself to see how long it takes him to build this, because we've done it so many times already. Getting off to a slow start here.
What? I got to build the drama, okay?
So we're going to see if there's been any improvements since then. I think, let's see, so far, it looks pretty much the same.
The steps I could tell already changed.
The sacks are still there.
Yep.
Our Aubrey Edwards is sandwiched in there very nicely and firmly,
Which is good.
but she comes right out. So cool, I guess we get a nice good look at that. No, you're right, actually there is a difference already, so this is a different mold.
It is definitely a different mold, because the corners to the WWE rings from Wicked Cool Toys was rounded. These are actually squared off, but I think that is how AEW's ring in general is. They use the square post.
Yeah, so that's the first main difference. We're going to do a side-by-side like we said a little bit later on, but I think besides that, there's not going to be much of a change.
No, I'm not even going to waste my time looking at the instructions, because again, I feel like it's the exact same thing.
Yeah,
So-
in fact, even these pieces here look like the exact same ones.
Oh yeah, they are.
So that's good. I mean, hey, at least we know what we're getting with this. So if you bought any of these authentic scale rings in the past, you know exactly what you're
You
dealing
know
with.
exactly what you're doing.
I feel like this is like your chance to be a Marine, except instead of being a Marine assembling a gun, you're assembling a ring.
So you're basically saying I'm like Forrest Gump when he had to put the rifle together.
I wasn't making that conclusion, but apparently you've decided that you're Forrest Gump.
I'll take it.
That's not a... Okay, you know what? Just keep building. That's fine. Just keep building. I think really the biggest slowdown is going to be when you get to the turnbuckles, which will be right here. So yes, so everybody can see also. Everything is in those little plastic bags like we mentioned. So nothing really too fancy and not really anything worth discussing. But, oh look, there's our mat. So I wonder if the material is any different also on this mat. Does it feel any different to you?
It feels a lot different, actually. It's a bit more padded, for lack of a better term.
Interesting. I need to give it a little feel too. Let's see. Oh yeah, you're right. It actually does feel different. Yeah, this definitely feels a little bit different in terms of the texture. I mean, it's still a fabric, soft kind of fabric, but it's different. I don't quite know how to describe the difference in it though.
Quilted.
Quilted. That's a good word, actually.
It's quilted.
And it goes on. By the way, just snap it across the bottom of the turnbuckles. That's how it gets on there. The heck?
What's...
Something gets stuck in there? Oh, that's new. What is that?
This is... I don't know.
Are there any more?
No.
Do we need to actually look at the instructions?
No. I think
Nothing
that
in
was
this
just
one.
a piece that was not supposed to be there, my guess.
I don't know what this thumbtack looking piece here is or what
Yeah.
it's going to do, but we'll have to find out a little bit later, I guess. That's mighty small.
So, but back to what I was going to say. The base of the post are square, unlike the WWE rings.
So that's the one key difference, although it's just a cosmetic difference. I don't know if it's going to function any differently or not.
No.
This feels way more stable than my ring, than the other ring I have here. This is actually sitting flat, so that could just be a difference.
Let's wait until we put the ropes on. The ropes will make a big difference.
That is very true. As we know, the ropes will pull across it, and it will very much change how it feels. All right, so here's our apron covers now. Double or nothing.
Now, I'm wondering if it's going to be the same deal like back in the day, where we're going to get different aprons from, let's say, ringside.
I would assume so, because I don't know how many times you're going to be able to keep making this ring again and again. I mean, they've already made it twice, so I don't know how much more they can do with this thing. Maybe it is going to be a yearly thing, but I don't think there's a real market to do this type of ring every year. I feel like they need to start going in the directions of Mattel and just making gimmick rings that are cheaper and smaller.
True. Which that would make more sense to do. Already another big difference? Right here. For where you connect the turnbuckles. Where the WWE rings was like a flat peg that came out.
Oh, look at that. That goes in really smooth, too.
Yeah.
I wonder, let's see if it's, and it's pretty firm. I mean, it's still fairly light feeling plastic,
But again, I think the squared off design structurally would be a lot better. Now, I probably should have put the post in first, but oh well. Doesn't make a difference.
snap into it. Now, I hope you put the tag ropes on different sides,
I
right?
did.
Because yes, just like the WWE version, these have tag ropes, and this one is black and a bit of a thinner, more flexible material too. It feels like more stretchy. I don't think the other material is as stretchy, but we'll do side by side soon enough to actually see what is or what isn't the same. All right, so over here we have the turnbuckle bits and pieces.
Which now, once again, it's more because of the way these posts are. These joints are actually facing different directions, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I think they're all like that too, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, they're all like that. Which is a really annoying bit, isn't it?
Yep.
Does it matter even which side you put them on, though, or not really?
No, it does actually.
Does it? Oh.
Yeah.
So which way do you want to put them on, then?
One end has a bigger opening. That's the problem.
That's what she said.
Oh, god damn it. Why'd I leave myself open to that one?
That's what she said.
Fuck! And we just got demonetized. These are actually a little bit tougher to play around with, actually, compared to the WWE rings because of the way the posts are constructed, but...
That actually might be a good thing, though, that they stay in spot, stay in place.
No, but even the WWE ones stayed relatively in place. As you could tell here, barely any opening, so that's not going to fit on a post. This one, however, bigger opening, meant to go on a post. Now comes the ropes. They don't feel that tense.
They look pretty loosey-goosey right there.
Mm-hmm. Which, that was always my issue with the WWE rings. That the ropes that they gave you were loose, and you couldn't stand a figure on top of it.
Think that's going to be an issue here?
I have a feeling, yes.
Because that would be a real problem, considering this is AEW, and they're all about the high-flying top rope kind of stuff.
Exactly. No, we may be... Nope, now it's actually starting to feel a little bit tighter, but...
I guess we'll see when we get them all on.
Exactly.
Alright, so we got all the ropes on now.
That's just the thing I like to do. I like to keep the knots all on one corner.
So now we have to do what is arguably the worst part of this, though, and that's...
the turnbuckles. Because it's a hard rubber. Well, soft rubber.
So how do they feel? Any better, any worse?
They feel the same. However, they are wider compared to the WWE turnbuckles.
Oh, they look visibly wider.
Yeah, they're definitely a lot wider.
And here you guys can see what this looks like. So yeah, there are two different styles. There's the double for nothing one, and then there's the normal AEW ones. And yeah, these definitely look noticeably thicker. which is good. That's what we want, actually. I want them to be able to hold up better. But one of the worst parts about making this ring the last time was what you're looking at right now, and that's putting these things on, because they are pains in the butt.
Not as bad, actually, because they're a lot wider, so you can work with it a little bit better. But always my one issue is, let's say you got to take the turnbuckles off, you don't want to snap the peg. That would, and also remembering to pinch the sides so it goes on the inside.
Pro tip. So pinching the corners is a very important part of it, because if you don't do it, the sides are going to stick out, and that's going to look really bad.
Yeah. Which, once again, that is really the bane of these turnbuckles' existence.
All right, this is it. Last turnbuckle going on. That didn't take that long, actually. I feel like the last time I did it, it took double the length.
Yeah, because it was probably our first time doing it, and it took me 19 minutes. Wow, 20 minutes to do this.
20 minutes isn't bad, but yeah, that's about how long it should take you.
I forgot one thing.
Well, sort of not really, but yeah, there's also ring steps, which, there you go. Which are also shaped to go in there, more or less.
More or less.
Yeah, I don't really know what the point of this being a square is like. I mean, is it meant to be like...
See, now, if we go back to the box, the shape was supposed to be a diamond shape to fit into the post. So that might be a running change.
I wonder, because yeah, as you guys can see here, that's a square. This is a diamond.
Because I remember with the WWE rings, those steps did not stick to the post.
So that's the construction of the ring. So let's go back, switch camera angles, and do our side-by-side comparison. All right, so we are back, and on this side, I've got the WWE Authentic Scale Ring.
And I have the AEW Authentic Scale Ring.
So let's do our official side-by-side comparison now, talk about the differences. And I guess the key one to start with, since it's the most visible, would be the turnbuckle covers. They are definitely wider, double the size.
They're like double the size, basically, yeah.
I think in terms of height, they are the same height still, so that hasn't changed.
Has not changed at all.
I think other than that, really the turnbuckles are probably the biggest noticeable difference, because the covers, like we said just now, are wider.
Also, the posts structurally are noticeably different, as actually thicker post and squared off, as opposed to the WWE, which is round and skinnier.
And I should let you guys know too, like I've had this ring basically when I'm not using it for videos, it's actually folded up. So you might not be able to see that as easily from this angle, but all the turnbuckle corners here are kind of pulled in towards each other. And that's what happened when we first built it. They all started kind of falling into each other right away.
Because if I'm not mistaken, I remember the first one we did, the ropes were super, super loose, where you would sit a figure on top and it would actually sink all the way down.
Yeah.
They did fix the ropes by this point.
Yes.
So,
and they're still very bouncy and tight. I mean, you just saw Trish and Bam Bam just got knocked over. So they're still holding up really nicely.
And I think you could try to stand a figure on the ropes alone.
We'll try it with Trish, whatever. If you're going to balance, I mean, she'll probably be able to stay. That's the hard part of getting her to balance. But yeah, it's not terrible. How's it on your side? So the ropes seem pretty similar, but...
You could tell this one does not... No, those ropes are tight. WWE ropes are tighter.
Yeah, it does feel bouncier on the side, yeah.
It does, so you're not going to be able to have a figure stand.
Not as easily.
Here, you have a better chance.
Yeah.
It's just getting the balance. Ooh, almost
crotched him. So aside from that, we already talked about the ring steps, and here's what WWE looks like as well, so you guys can see that. So this one, like we've mentioned, is rounded.
And obviously AEW's is squared to fit the post.
Otherwise, I think the design, the mold's otherwise the same. So really...
No, actually, you have 4 steps. I only have 3.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
That's a neat little thing there.
Again, I haven't watched AEW in a while, so I'm not sure if that is actually the way AEW steps are, if it's only 3.
I mean, I've never paid attention to the steps either, to be quite honest, so I couldn't tell you, but it's nice to know it's actually a new piece. So that part's nice. I like that. So let's talk about aprons now also, because that's an important part of this. And we have now, this is the WrestleMania one from the Cage set, which is 2 years old.
Set, yeah. But the material was relatively the same across the board. So...
Feels pretty much the same.
It feels pretty much the same. Not a big deal. It's roughly the same size.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. That's good to know.
Not changed.
So if I wanted to actually use a WrestleMania on my AEW ring, we could do that, because it's still the same stuff.
Wouldn't that be somewhat Inception-y or whatnot, for lack of a better term? Yeah.
So another thing we should mention too is the small thing here, but the tag team ropes. So mine are white, yours are black.
And I just realized I made a boo-boo, so let me fix that real quick.
Whoops, you got yours tied on your rope. But,
Yep, I did.
But as far as material goes, I think it's the same material. I think yours looks maybe a little bit thinner.
Yeah, mine is thinner.
I think yours is longer though too.
Relatively the same size, I would have to say.
So basically, only difference is materials
and color. Yeah, and color. And actually, same material, just thinner. That's all. Here's the big difference with the two rings. This ring actually came with a figure.
Who knocked over John Moxley. That's how powerful Aubrey Edwards is.
That she is.
And this is her very first figure, so it's cool we have an AEW ref now. We really haven't gotten too many refs. Like, the only ref we got was the Build-A-Figure of Danny Davis.
Danny Davis, yeah.
And that's about it still. There's been no other refs. So there's now the Sid Justice referee shirt you can pop onto guys, but as far as refs go, that's it.
Well, it was the tank top, and that was only from his SummerSlam 91 match.
So as far as the figure goes, though, it's really cool to have a referee, and it's an important referee to have because she is basically their senior referee.
And she was significantly one of the first female referees in a main spot. So
yeah,
well deserving of a figure, I will say.
And I think it's a pretty nice figure of her also. I think the head sculpt, it pretty much looks like her.
It does, from my recollection.
Articulation is pretty similar to what you get.
It's
not slightly
AEW
different.
Figure, so.
Yeah, it's slightly different. Like basically, her shoulder joints are a little bit different. They're more along the lines of what you get with a basic figure. But she still has double jointed elbows. She still has the double jointed knees. And her buck is just like the other guys too. It's the same kind of rotating buck on her chest.
However, I think the waist is a different articulation. It's just a flat swivel, unlike the figures where they still have that rounded. Like if you notice on the wrestlers at the waistline, they have a full range of motion. Aubrey Edwards only has left to right.
Interesting choice.
But then again, it is a referee, so how much articulation does a referee need?
I mean, I can still see that being kind of important, though, especially when you're getting her, to do counting. I feel like that could actually be a useful joint to have.
True.
But, I don't really know. I mean, I guess probably the reason why the shoulder's different is because they need her to keep this arm stiff to do the counting. So that makes sense for that. So in addition to what you see here, she also comes with 3 other hands, which are a 1-count finger, a 2-count finger, and then kind of a open hand to hold things. No 3-count finger.
Yeah.
But she has basically karate chop hands that are currently on her.
Basically. And actually, I'm not going to lie. I do like the detail they gave her on the fingernails.
Yeah, it's a really cool little thing. That's like such a tiny thing.
Yeah,
but they went that extra
like,
mile.
Yeah. And of course, they have the tattoo on her, in the inside of her forearm.
I like it overall. I think the one thing that's kind of weird is you can see it's a little bit of a two-tone effect going on with her lower half of her torso.
Yeah, because I feel like it's the paint bleeding into the plastic, maybe.
Yeah, it's basically because it's white paint on top of a black mold, most likely. So it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. That happens with all figures.
Doesn't look great, but it's kind of expected.
It's expected.
But Aubrey Edwards, otherwise, it's good to have her, and this is a good version of her. So definitely a worthy addition.
Definitely.
Beats the Kenny Omega that came with the first rings. So we're going to test it out now using 2 different things. We're going to try the Wicked Cool Toys Classic Caged.
Which that one I'm excited about.
We're going to see if it fits here. I don't think it will.
I don't, because the post is going to be what screws everything up.
So I feel like we've already answered that question, but besides that, we have one last thing to test out as
Ooh.
well. We got barbed wire.
AEW Deathmatch.
Exactly. So we're going to switch angles and see what we can do with this thing. So here is the piece from that blue cage that we mentioned, and as you guys can see, no, that will definitely absolutely not fit.
There is... Which is a pittance.
It's a pittance.
Because if you actually take even one side of the cage, it could still fit.
It actually, yeah, because it's the same thing, so it does work.
It could still fit. So it's for the bottom piece. So the only thing I could suggest is you could use the top connector on it, and then hopefully it will stand fine, but you will just have to be careful with it. That's it. So... And maybe just zip tie the bottom.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of, which...
Not ideal.
Not ideal, but it's something. Obviously, this leaves open. Okay, when is Wicked Cool Toys going to give us a cage for AEW?
Well, you know they are, and chances are it's going to be sold just like this was, because this was a separate accessory. It wasn't part of a ring set, so this will be its own thing, hopefully. I'm pretty sure they're going to probably debut at Toy Fair or something.
They'll probably do it.
So I guess when they release it, we will review it. So for the time being, if you want to have a cage with your AEW stuff, you can't.
You can't.
Not easily.
Not easily. There's a little finagling that has to go on.
But let's get hardcore.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I want to actually see if this connects. And I actually also know the answer to this already, because I did this when I reviewed the barbed wire. So yeah, I believe we're doing
Well-
this the lazy way here. I'm not going to take off the ropes completely, although we could. But let's just make sure first if it goes turnbuckle to turnbuckle, and yes, it does.
Yeah.
So that's what matters. So if you wanted to have it with the ropes, you can totally do that.
You could definitely. Actually, I would probably suggest doing this with the ropes.
I mean, but you could still do no rope barbed wire
You
deathmatch.
could.
I'm actually looking at this now. I'm very confident you could pull it off, and the ropes would all go across it. You would need to have like a bunch of these.
You would need a bunch, but I say with the ropes because at least you could wrap it around the ropes.
So basically, if we didn't have the ropes here, though, you are attaching it turnbuckle to turnbuckle. The thing
At
is,
the joint.
yeah, the thing is, like, it's not going to hold up this way because these are, very flimsy, soft little bits here.
Yeah.
So they're going to be all dangling unless you, like, spiderweb them like it's an IWA 95 deathmatch. So that's, like, the one downside. So you kind of do need to put it on the ropes if you're going to put them on your ring. But they do stretch across.
That gives me an idea.
Uh-oh, Vinny has ideas. Yeah, so you got some options here. You could definitely do it, and you can make it work. So you can have your barbed wire death matches, and it'll work, That's why I'm really happy about. That's also why I bought a ton of these. So if you haven't bought these yet, get yourself a lot of barbed wire because you need it. But I think it's basically, if you just get yourself 2 packs of the barbed wire accessory pack, you'll be good to go. Because I'm pretty positive there's 6 in each one.
6 in each one?
I think so.
You need at least 2 packs for all 4 sides.
So you need 2 packs for all the ring corners, and then if you want to have some other stuff, get a few extras. Like I actually personally bought 5.
Yeah.
Because I'm hardcore like that. So
So
plenty of barbed wire to
the
go
good thing is you don't need to do it on the joint of the ropes. You could just do it on the post.
Have your bloody Cody Rhodes get all cut up in it.
Yeah.
Nice. So, yeah, that's our look at the Wicked Cool Toys Jazzwares AEW Authentic Scale Ring version 2.0. Because this is, like I mentioned, the second one. This one's got Aubrey Edwards, and in my opinion, it's the superior one to get because it's got the Aubrey Edwards figure.
That's always a plus to have a referee figure. If you really think about it, throughout wrestling figure history, how many times did we really get a referee?
Not often.
Not often.
So if you want to get a referee, this is going to probably be the only way to do it. Because I don't know if they're going to make any more Aubrey Edwards, and I don't think the rest of their referee stables are really notable enough to get their own figures. Otherwise, though, there's been some improvements, I think, in the ring. A few things that might not be as good as the previous versions. But overall,
it's a good ring. If you did not get the Wicked Cool Toys for WWE, this would definitely be a suitable one to get.
Now, the big question is what's next for them. And we were talking, obviously, about the cage. So
the cage is definitely one of them.
I would assume more ring aprons.
More ring aprons, which that they could go the ringside route and just sell the aprons separately. Who knows? Maybe Mattel will be coming out with that for their new ring that they're coming out with. That one I'm eagerly anticipating.
And that's going to basically be the next ring we do review, because that's going to be basically a year from now. But I bet we both backed the Mattel Kickstarter, if you will, for the WWE Authentic Scale Ring that they're doing, and can't wait to get that one.
Now, thinking about that, who knows? Maybe Jazzwares, they saw that as a success. They may do another ring in that sense as a crowdfunder too. Who knows?
We'll have to wait and see. And we're going to be seeing more of this ring too, because as I do more videos, we'll probably try this out some more. And we'll see how long it lasts and if it stays just as sturdy. But as of this moment, I feel like whatever it is, the support systems are definitely superior than what I've got already.
Yeah, because actually I believe this squared method is definitely the better route.
It feels more resistant.
Then again, it could also be because that's AEW's style of ring. So that could be possible why they did it this way.
Whatever it is, it's working, and I'm all for it. Let's get MJF on Brett's rope, and there you go.
Even though he doesn't deserve it, but oh well.
Yeah. So that's our look at it. If you guys want to buy this, it's a ringside exclusive, so you know where to go get it.
So get them while they last, because usually ringside exclusives don't last that long.
I don't think this one's going to last too long either. Yeah. So until next time, I'm Matthew.
And I'm Vinny.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys here next time on Nerd News Today.